Andrew.
Coach, Armando told us he had a conversation with you after Georgia Tech about making more of a concerted effort to get him touches. He had to get more open, and the guys out in the perimeter had to be more concerted to get him the ball. What was that conversation like? And obviously that was a point of emphasis, and it worked today.
No, we did. I mean, we had a really nice time together, just talking about him and what is needed for him personally and for our team to be the best that he can be. I know people have told me that has said that he taking a reserve role, or this is this person's team and my role has changed. And I told him I've never told you that. For us to be the best team that we can be, we need you being a dude. And so we need RJ scoring 20. We need you getting 20 and 20 rebounds. And I said, look, I've never been a person that points fingers and never self-evaluates and looks at myself. And I said, look, I think one, being more aggressive and working harder to get the ball, and then me tweaking in some of our plays to be able to get you the ball a little bit easier in spots where you can be effective. And Armando was terrific, not just scoring, but two things. His ability to play defense without fouling. Filipowski is one of the better players in the country. Not only can he score, he draws fouls, and we were concerned about that going into the game. And an area where Armando has improved so much is handling the double team. There was a point of his career where that really flustered him. And now I felt like he was confident in those situations to be able to get the ball out, not turning the ball over, and I'm just really happy for him.
If I could follow up on that real quickly.
Harrison Ingram, did you think he could be this type of player?
I thought he could be really good. That's Harrison. His game with that size and that versatility to be able to play multiple positions helps us defensively in rebounding. It helps us on the offensive end, being able to post him up, shoot from three. He can bring up the ball in transition. And his personality, as I said to you guys before, just brightens the room as soon as he comes into it. So, he's just, our guys just love and enjoy being around him. And so I'm just so glad he's at Carolina.
Hang on one second. Andrew had a follow-up.
Follow-up to you, Armando. How important was it that he got going early and the stuff that you guys had talked about worked and sort of everything sort of fell into place around it?
Well, I thought it was important for him to get off to a good start, and he was able to do that, and I felt like that gave him confidence to be able to be a force and effective on the offensive end. When he's dominant down low in a post like that, that just opens everything up for us. It gives us space to drive and to penetrate and get to the basket. It gets us open shots on the perimeter. It gets us closer to the penalty, where I think we went 18 for 25. We shot 25 free throws. And so there's a number of benefits for us when Armando is aggressive and plays the way that he did tonight.
Hubert, I know Seth has had higher scoring games, but
he was terrific.
He had the buckets in transition in the first half, and then to come in when Elliott got those two quick fouls in the second half. What can you say about the performance that he had?
Well, that's all on Seth. One of the things that he has talked about is, he was getting to the basket and struggling finishing. And this is who Seth is. He's been, before and after practice, working on finishing, being stronger and using his athleticism, being able to finish around the basket. And those moves were definitive. They were confident. And with his athleticism and his ability to attack the basket, that just gives us another dimension on the offensive end, especially off of closeouts, cuts from the corner, the wings, and that play where he threw the ball into the post and then cut to the basket and was able to score in combination with the way that he can play defense. He was really huge for us today.
Hubert, following up on that question about Harrison, but how emblematic, he must have dug in for 5 or 6 loose balls, was hustling. Yeah. How emblematic of that is this whole team's desire just to keep winning regardless of who's kind of doing it?
I do. There's a hunger and thirst with this group that individually and as a team to be the best that it can be. And it comes from many different directions. Obviously, the guys that have been here before, there's a hunger and thirst to continue to grow and be good. then you have, you know, guys like Cormac and Pax and Harrison who never run out of that tunnel and looked at that type of crowd and been on this stage. And so a thankfulness and appreciation for being here. So there's a hunger and thirst to be good, because this is the first time in their career they've been in this situation. And then the freshmen, I don't know if they know what's going on, but there's a hunger and thirst for them to be a part of this. And so it's nice to see the, you know, the motivation in this team to be the best that they can be, whatever it ends up. But all year this team has been connected and had a goal to reach their full potential.
Coach, you talked about Filipowski and earlier in the week, some of the challenges he poses. Can you just talk about how you felt you defended him tonight?
Yeah, I mean, you just got to do the best that you can. And you know, where they get him the ball, he's just, obviously he's good around the basket, but even in, you know, the high post or a little bit off the lane, his ability to face up and use pivots, you know, he's got terrific, you know, footwork, and his ability to be able to score, foul, draw fouls, get to the free throw line, and also he puts a lot of pressure on you because he can shoot it from three. And so that was a huge emphasis for us. And one of the things that we always, I mean, even as a player, for me, it's, you know, defensively, yes, he's a handful, but you got to go at him on the defensive end. And I thought Armando did that. I thought Armando made him play defense, and that's something I think really helped us tonight.
What did you say about your team that every time Duke tried to creep in and get close, you guys always had to counterpunch, it seemed?
Well, I mean, it doesn't happen all the time, but I mean, this team, I think one of the characteristics of this team has been able to, you know, handle a little bit of adversity and bounce back. You know, one of the things that we always talk about is, you know, whether good things or bad things happen, the only thing you have control over is how you react and how you respond. And I feel like all year our guys have done a really good job reacting and responding, whether something's going well for us or something, you know, we're struggling with it. And just the conversations in the huddle, the conversations on the floor with these guys, they're locked in, they're communicating, they're talking, they're all on the same page. Gives you great confidence as a coach that they can do the things they need to do to continue to win out there on the floor.
You guys held them to.
Let Adam get it.
Thank you. Hubert, along those lines, what did you see from your group in terms of the realization that they were sort of face guarding RJ a lot and trying to take him out of most everything, and just the way that they handled that, the way they navigated the fact that this dude who's been scoring a ton, you know, might not be getting as many points as he normally does? How did you see your guys sort of handle that?
I thought they did a really good job of that. You know, when I don't have a stat sheet, but you know, you look at the scoring, it's really diverse. I mean, so, you know, when they're paying that much of attention to RJ, I mean, somebody's open and somebody needs to step up. Harrison hit 5 threes for us. That was huge. Armando was really aggressive. You already mentioned Seth and his ability to attack the basket. I thought Elliott was really good. His ability to get to the basket, make passes, push and transition. I felt like our best offense was when we were transitioning from defense to offense. And really, this team just doesn't care. Like, at the end of the day, if RJ had 0 and Armando had 90 points or vice versa, I don't really think they care. I really think this group, like, celebrates the success of their teammates. Like, they celebrated more than their success. And so I don't think they would care. And I don't, you know, and you look at the stat sheet and RJ had 17 points, you know, and so it's a really good team effort.
Hubert, to follow that up though, is there some type of blueprint that you can take off of Ingram and Baycott having double-doubles the way that they did and dominating, you know, down low or whatever, and kind of?
I'd like that every game. I would. I mean, I'd be okay with that. And but it takes us to a different level, you know, because, you know, them offensively and then the year that RJ is having, that makes it very difficult from an offensive standpoint for teams to stop us. And you know, those threes by Harrison were huge for us.
Take a couple more, please.
Hubert, how'd you feel about the pace Sean played with it?
I
Really
did.
seemed to affect.
Oh no, it was good.
Yeah.
It was good. You know, in the first half, I'll give you an example. They made a basket and boom, we got a layup. I mean, that, and I told the guys, I said, that's the pace I want. I said, I think we can go faster. And that was the perfect example of that's the way we want to play. I mean, whether it's a made basket, miss, turnover, out of timeout, free throw, let's go. And I felt like the way that we transitioned from defense to offense has been a strength of us all year. That's why defending and rebound is so huge for us. If we defend and rebound, that means we get to have some fun and we get to go in transition. And so I think the guys are every day starting to understand that, starting to buy into defending and rebounding, because then they get to run and get to score. But I thought our pace was good.
Going back to Armando real quick, it sounds like that meeting was your idea. And how much could you tell maybe that things have been weighing on him for a bit?
I don't know if things have been weighing. I mean, this is not out of character. I told you guys that, first of all, I require the guys to stop by the office at least one time a week. And I tell them we can't talk about basketball. We got to talk about school, whatever they're watching on Netflix, what's their favorite thing they like to eat. But I call the guys into the office all the time. I talked to Armando, I met with Elliott, I met with RJ, I met with Harrison. I mean, these are things that I do every week, that I just text guys and say, hey, stop by the office, let's catch up and let's talk. And I did. I wanted to talk to Armando this time, not just about life, but about basketball. And, you know, it's really important for me for Armando to finish out his career the right way, and I just wanted to hear how he was feeling. And I heard those comments from him saying taking a backseat role, and I wanted to ask him, is that what you said? And I wanted to tell him, I never said that to you. That's not what we want, and that's not what we need. And it was just a really good conversation.
In the tunnel, you gave him a hug when you saw he was
I did.
behind him.
I did.
What'd you tell him in that moment?
I told him I loved him, and I'm so proud of him. And I gave him a kiss on the cheek, or on the neck. I couldn't get up to his cheek.
I'm sorry.
No, it was good. No, I'm just really, really proud of him.
Last one, Jeremiah.
Yeah, Hubert, you did mention obviously the game that Harrison Ingram had and things like that. What did you notice that was maybe, I don't know, different kind of about the flow he was in? This is the most points he's had, in quite a while. Was there anything before the game or even during the game that you noticed that was different about the kind of flow he was in?
No, I mean, I don't. It doesn't dictate whether he's hitting shots or not. He's always bringing energy and effort, enthusiasm, a toughness about it. You mentioned he was on the floor, diving on loose balls. Like, I mean, he's just. Every time he makes a shot or a three, he starts clapping, and he was getting the middle of things in the second half, so you got to calm him down a little bit. He likes to talk, but he does so much for us on and off the court and in the locker room, and it's stuff that you guys don't see and you don't look under the stat sheet. And you never know how new guys will respond to being on this type of stage. Because it is a first, and himself and others, I thought they responded really well.
Thank you, Coach.
Along those notes, Ingram.